Welcome to FintechTV. I'm Remy Blaire. A new generation of investors want more than return, they want impact. Newday Impact's Causeway platform lets users donate to vetted nonprofits, back broad causes, and opt to invest in portfolios aligned with their values, all with clear, measurable results. Now, Causeway is bringing individuals, families, and mission-driven organizations together to create real-world change. Well, joining me today is Doug Heske, CEO of Newday Impact. Great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Remy. Wonderful to be back.
Well, today is Giving Tuesday, so I'm glad you are joining me. And I do want to hear about what Causeway is doing. What are you actually doing to create real-world impact?
Yes. So as you may remember, the New Day has been working for about the last 9 years, guiding families, large families and family offices and foundations on their impact journey. So we have built a distinguished history of working with a number of remarkable nonprofit organizations and NGOs that now number more than 55 in our platform that we're fondly branding under Causeway Impact. So what we're doing is providing an opportunity for individuals and institutions to get informed, involved, and invested in those issues that they care most about. Primarily what are built around 6 pillars of impact: climate action, air quality, water quality, which includes ocean health, biodiversity and conservation, regeneration and healthy soils, and of course, human equity, which is intertwined with all of that. You can't speak about one issue without having an impact on another. So as a part of the platform today, we are democratizing access to this idea of creation of impact, giving individuals an opportunity to learn about the deep impact work that goes on, primarily driven by our nonprofit organizations, but giving them an easily accessible platform where they can donate and direct capital to those causes that they care most about.
And you bring up an important point, Doug, because one thing cannot exist without the other. And without doubt, people are living longer. So when we're talking about impact, of course, the idea of generational wealth transfer comes to mind. So what is actually unfolding right now?
It's a remarkable period of time right now. We have this emerging population of younger people today all around the world. Just here in the United States, more than 100 million strong, that represent already almost 50% of American consumer purchasing power. They are developing their own blueprints for change, and in some respect becoming indigenous philanthropists, driving change in really, really unique ways. We characterize them as dangerous consumers because they are armed with information that they've never had before to make really, really impactful decisions. So they want full transparency. They want to understand the good and the bad. So if an organization is doing great work associated with environmental, social, and governance characteristics, that's terrific. But what they don't want to be told is that an organization is doing outstanding work at the same time that they're doing work that needs to be improved upon as well. So this emerging set of younger people, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, now stand to inherit somewhere close to $75 trillion. So Causeway is positioning itself as a mechanism to align our work with mission-driven investors and philanthropists, supporting the work that we do with more than 55 nonprofit organizations and NGOs today.
And I think you bring up an important point because we have access to so much information, sometimes an overload of information. So I think it's very important to be able to tell what's right, what's wrong, and to be able to separate fact from fiction as well. So I think transparency is key. Now, I do want to get your take on why ESG went wrong and why what you're doing is different.
Yes, so environmental, social, and governance investing over the course of the last decade was a really important mechanism to create awareness around corporate organizations, particularly public organizations that were trying to display the good work that they were doing. ESG as a framework was never really intended to be an investment mechanism. It was intended to be a reporting framework that then morphed into a mechanism that major financial institutions adopted to begin talking about this important work that corporate organizations were doing. Our methodology is uniquely different. And we brand our methodology around an acronym called C. So it's stakeholder engagement, which is critically important. It's environmental impact and action. And lastly, it's about ethos and ethics. And this all has to do foundationally with having great governance. So our job as fiduciaries and as investment managers are to identify great businesses. What do great businesses do? They create extraordinary wealth for their shareholders, but they also leave a lasting imprint on the communities in which they're living and operating. Our foundational belief is that investors don't necessarily have to accept concessionary returns for making investments into great companies, and that's the work that we do at Newday.
And I do have to ask you, how can the people out there who are watching and might be interested in this platform, how can they actually track their donations?
Yes, so this is a really important question, particularly as it pertains to today on Giving Tuesday. We have this incredibly powerful campaign that's launching today in association with two of our most important impact partners, the Georgie Bedell Foundation, that's based here in New York City, that supports clean water, sanitation, and women's empowerment in West Africa. They are building wells, they are building oases to support local communities, and they are providing community services at these oases to improve the livelihood of women and girls in those communities. What does that mean? It means that they spend less time hauling water every single day for miles every single day, and more time in school, more time at work. The other organization is the Fred Hollows Foundation, originally based in Australia, that are working on eyesight impairment around the world, mostly associated with cataract and trachoma, which is an eye-borne disease or bacteria that gets into the eye that causes blindness. The Fred Hollows Foundation, now working in more than 27 developing countries in curing blindness, which is easily fixable. The most important thing about this campaign is that we have a $10 million donor that has agreed to provide what are matching gifts up to that 10 million between now and year end of this year. So every dollar that's donated to this organization is matched all the way up to $10 million. And that goes an incredibly long way in improving eyesight for individuals that suffer from visual impairment around the world.
Well, Doug, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me on this Giving Tuesday, and thank you so much for giving us all of your insights and your perspective.
Remy, thank you very much. And please, I encourage all your listeners and viewers to go to causewayImpact.com for more about the program and more about the work that we do at Causeway.
Thank you.
Thank you.